Hello YouTube, this is Drugoli from Knights of the Never, and I'm bringing some domination here on launch, and I'm using the AK-47 with dual mag. My perks are Hardline, Sleight of Hand, and Hacker, and my kill streaks are Blackbird, Chopper Gunner, and Attack Dogs. So this is episode 4 of my TnT or Tips and Tricks series, but some of you might be wondering where episode 3 is, and episode 3, if you don't know already, I have submitted for a channel called PGN Live, because they're uploading viewer videos at the moment. It hasn't been uploaded yet, but when it does, I'm going to post a video and also a link on Twitter, so you guys can go watch it. And if it for some reason doesn't get uploaded, I'm going to just going to upload it on my channel anyway, so you can go watch it. But first here, before I go into this video, I have a few things to say. I just pre-ordered Crisis 2, and I'm thinking about maybe doing a first playthrough live commentary of the single-player campaign. I would like to hear what you guys think. If you think I should do it, please just comment down below. But if you don't think it would be that fun to watch, just tell me so. I would like to know. Comment down below, send me a message on YouTube, or send me a message on Twitter. But also, there are only 2 more episodes of Tips and Tricks, and they're discluding this one. But those are attachments and perks and miscellaneous things that I haven't talked about yet. So let's go into this one's topic, and that is weapons. So I'm just going to go through each category, my recommendations for each category, and also like a quick info on some of the categories, what I think. So the first is submachine guns, or SMGs. And SMGs are, at least what I think, are used for a more offensive class or offensive style of play, because you can run faster with submachine guns than you can with any other weapon, or maybe pistols and shotguns. You can also run as fast, but you can run faster with a submachine gun than a light machine gun or a assault rifle. And they're used for close to medium range. And my recommendations for submachine guns would be the AK-74U, the MP5K, and the Uzi or Uzi, I don't know how it's pronounced. So that was submachine guns. The next is assault rifles, and there are a few different types of assault rifles. There are semi-automatic, which are the M14 and the FN-FAL or FN-FAL. There are also 2 3-round bursts, and those are the M16 and the G11. I wouldn't recommend using the semi-automatic weapons because they are hard to use, at least for me. But you could use a 3-round burst weapon. It depends on what you're used to using. If you normally use a 3-round burst weapon, of course you can just use those, and for that I would recommend the M16. But I would mostly recommend you use something like a Enfield, FAMAS, or the AK-47. And if you use those, I would also tell you that they're good at medium to long range and mostly used for a defensive / offensive style of play. You can use them to run around, as I said, as offensive, but I would more recommend to use them as a more defensive style of play. If you don't know what playing defensive means, just go watch my playstyles, tips and tricks video. It's much easier explained there. But I would recommend for long range, I would recommend you fire in a short bursts, like 2 or 3 rounds, because that makes it a lot easier to hit your target. If you just go full auto, you most of the time can't hit a single thing at long range. So the next category is shotguns, and shotguns are used and can only be used at close range. And even though it might seem like fun, I don't recommend using them in normal games. Of course, if you're bored and want to try something fun, have a little challenge, you could use the shotguns, but they are very hard to use since you need to be in close range, and most of the time, if you don't get a one-hit kill, the enemy might turn around and kill you instead with a assault rifle or a submachine gun. I don't know why I felt saying that. But my recommendations for shotguns would be the Stakeout, and the Spaz 12. I recommend those because the Stakeout has a bit more range than any of the other shotguns, which makes it okay, at least for close range. And the Spaz 12 can use a silencer without, well, the silencer has no effect on the gun. It does the same amount of damage. And the 2 more categories in primary. But the next is LMGs. or light machine guns. And those are, at least what I think, used for long to medium range, not that much close range. And the reason that I don't think they're good at close range is because of the very slow fire rate. Many of the LMGs have a very slow fire rate, which makes it hard to use at close range. So I would recommend using them for a more long range class, and also for a more defensive style of play, because you run very slow with a light machine gun, because they are so ginormous. But one very special thing about the light machine guns is that they have very to no damage drop, very little to no damage drop over range. And what I mean by damage drop is because in Call of Duty, the way it determines how much damage you do is because at a certain range, close quarters, you do your maximum amount of damage, and then at one point it starts dropping like a fine little curve down to your minimum damage, and that's at long range. But light machine guns have very little to no damage drop, which makes them pretty good for long range shots, because you need like 2 or 3 shots to kill, depending on the light machine gun and depending on where you shoot the guy. But they are hard to use at long range because most of them have high recoil, and you really need to fire like a chunk kind of like one shot at a time, because it can be hard to hit a long range with those. And my recommendations would be the M60 and the Stoner 63. So the last primary category is sniper rifles. And sniper rifles are very hard to use in Black Ops because you don't have the effect of Sleight of Hand Pro. It doesn't work on your sniper rifles. It works on any other gun, but not on sniper rifles. And that's one thing that makes it very hard to use sniper rifles in Black Ops, because if you're used to something like Modern Warfare 2, you had Sleight of Hand Pro, which made you zoom in quicker and pretty much made it very easy to quickscope. And if you don't know what quickscoping is, it's where you zoom in, shoot, and zoom out again almost instantaneous. But they're very hard to use in Black Ops, and they're only used, I would recommend using them if you need to or want to, for a more, well, defensive style of play. You need to sit far back, and you need to have the advantage of having the highest damage, and you need to use that advantage of you need to kill with one shot. If you don't kill with one shot, you're pretty much fucked, because if you come in at a close quarter situation, if you miss the first shot, they can go kill you, most of the time at least. But my recommendations to end this off would be the L96A1 and the PSG1. So now we're off to secondaries. And there are 3 categories here, and those are pistols as the first one's pistols. And they're used for close range, but you can also use them at more medium to long range. But it is harder to use them at long range because they have a low damage compared to some other weapons. But I would more recommend using these as a last resort or a help when killing someone. Like if you fired a whole magazine on him and maybe a few of your rounds hit the target, you can quickly switch to your pistol instead of reloading behind cover. You can quickly switch to your pistol and give him like one or two shots, and he'll probably die. But also, if you're using a sniper class and someone goes into second chance or something, you can quickly switch to your pistol and have more shots to hit him with, because if you don't hit him with the next sniper shot that you fire at him, there's a pretty big chance that he can just pwn you with this pistol or whatever it might be. So using a pistol as your secondary is one of the things that I recommend. But my recommendations for pistols would be the Makarov, Python, and CZ75. So we're off to launchers, and there aren't that many launchers in Black Ops. I think there are 4. One of them is a grenade launcher, and then there are 3 little rocket launchers, where one of them is a vehicle/air support only. But I don't recommend using them that much, but I would suggest that you had a class with a launcher on it that you can switch to if like the other team gets a air support or something. I don't mean that you don't use launchers at all. I mean, I want you guys to use launchers to help your team, because if you do that, the team would really appreciate what you do, even if it's just shooting down UAVs, because if the other team has a UAV, it gives them a big advantage. And I can see I don't have that much time. I need to be quick here. My recommendations with the RPG and Strela 3. Moving on, specials. I wouldn't recommend using these because compared to pistols, I don't think they are that good because you don't have that many shots in those compared to pistols. You only have 2 in each of the different weapons, so I wouldn't recommend using any of these. But you could use them just for fun, or like knifing only. You can use the ballistic knife. So that was TnT episode 4. I will say thank you guys for watching, and remember to comment down below if you want some Crysis 2 single player playthrough. Also, subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Give me a thumbs up, hopefully, and take care.
That's how it's done. Nice job, team.